Welcome, respected friends, in this attempt of ours to study this sublime Yoga Vaashishtha Maharamayana Shastra. 630062026 आज का तारीख today's date and our Yoga Vaashishtha Maharamayana class number 666 666th day. We are into third. So if you continue like that, it may take some, let us say 4004 into 8, 6 8 is 48. So some, uh, whatever the time it takes, let us continue. Leelopakhyanam, few more sargas. Leela discussing with Mother Saraswati. Mother is teaching her. And in this today's 55th sarga, which we started yesterday, beautiful, very many important sublime topics are revealed. May we become fit enough to start grasping them. Even a little bit by bit also we gain, we are in good position. Because all learning depends on our antakarana shuddhi, antakarana ekagrata and antakarana sukshmata. When they are not there, immediately everything will not be understood. Still, when we try in the trying effort only, attempt only, the upadhis become sukshma qualified for grasping this knowledge. So, the maranoparanta, gati, death, and after the death, what happens? What more is important than this, batao? That topic is discussed. So, here already how the death happens is told. One explanation is the niyati anusara 100 years. Then there is another niyati of less than 100, more than 100, depending on living exactly as per Shastra, lesser than that, greater than that. Another pratikula jivana. When we live, we may even die as a child also, middle age also, young age also, all of that. That is the Ayu Parimiti topic is explained. How long? Then at the time of death, how it happens, that also explained. Mainly taking into account the old age. How the the Vayu going inside and coming outside. Then Vayu going inside the nadis and coming outside. When that gets reduced, then the Indriyas, even the Antakarana, slowly start getting reduced in their capacities. At one point of time, when the total prarabdha is over, the bahar ka hawa bahar, andar ka hawa andar. So, do avajahi. That is called as the death of that jiva. So, here, whose death yesterday we have seen? Nobody dies there. In amalgamation of phenomena, gets only disrupted, disturbed, that's it. Again, little bit touching that topic. After leaving Sharira, how he goes to different worlds, etc., while explaining that six types of people are told who leave the Sharira. Every jiva. Six possibilities. है lowest papi, madhyama papi, mahapapi. So to mahapunyatma, madhyama punyatma, kinchit punyatma. Where they go and where they come back, they are very important things told. Why we have to know them? Then we become careful, no? One thing is we become vairagi, which is so essential. Second is we behave well because we know these are going to be the consequences. If you don't behave well even after this knowledge, then face the consequence. That also part of niyati. As an individual, other than abiding to these things, if you do anything extra or smart thing, it won't help. Niyati means this is how it is. In that niyati, positive also are there. Satkarma, punya karma, you do urdhva loka. Brahma Jignasa, if you do, you get Brahma Prapti and Moksha. That also is there, no? Which is a permanent solution. You can try for that also. So, yesterday we started, after lot of exhaustive explanation, this Sarga Pachpan. Yesterday's introduction was also very full, complete, exhaustive, very detailed, informative. You can listen it. Today also we said 5 minutes. Now with little of our Mangalacharana Shloka, few shlokas let us see. Today start invoking Vaashishthaadi Rishis, Ramachandra Bhagavan, Saraswati Mata, etc. Om 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 Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Bhakti Yoga Dharma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsa Rishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyo. Om Yairime Guruvi Purvam Padavakya Pramanatah Vyakhyatāh Sarva Vedantāh Sachastraha Tan Nityam Pranatosmyaham. Om Sri Rama Rama Ramete Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Ramanama Varanane. Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvataitam Gaganasadrusham Tattvamasyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavataitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tannamami. Parabrahmane Shruti समस्त ब्रह्म भक्ति योग धर्म विद्या आचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः. श्री रामचंद्र परब्रह्मणे नमः. श्री वशिष्ठादि ऋषिभ्यो नमः. श्री योग वासिष्ठ महारामायण स्मृति मोक्ष प्रकरण शास्त्र संकल्पः तेषां सर्वेषां कृपानुग्रहेण उपनिषद रामायणोक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्य बोधेनस्मिन् क्षणे एव मोक्ष कैवल्य प्राप्त्यर्थं सनातन धर्मस्य विश्वव्याप्ति स्वाध्यात्मिक प्रगत्यर्थं धर्म संस्थापकानां निरंतर दिग्विजयार्थं श्रीराम मंदिरवत् शिव कृष्णादि मंदिरादीनां पुनर्वाप्ति तेषु निरंतर शास्त्र अध्ययनादीनां द्वारा भारतवर्षस्य सनातन धर्मस्य बाह्याभ्यंतर शत्रुविघ्न शाश्वत समूल निर्मूल पूर्वक भारतवर्षे विश्वे च अस्मात् क्षणादारभ्य वैदिक हैन्दव संस्कृतेः धर्ममोक्ष पुरुषार्थानां सुसंप्रतिष्ठा अवाप्त्यर्थम् अस्यां कक्षायाम् आगतानां संकल्पित सत्कर्मसु दिग्विजयः तेषां हृदये परब्रह्मादीनां प्रति भक्त्यादीनां द्वारा जन्म साफल्यार्थम् अनेक शास्त्राणाम् अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मध्ये श्री वाल्मीकि महर्षि विरचित श्री राम वशिष्ठ संवाद रूप श्री योग वासिष्ठ महारामायण स्मृति मोक्ष प्रकरण शास्त्रस्य पारायणम् अध्ययनं साधना प्रयत्न मोक्षार्थं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे. मंगलाचरण श्लोकाः. ओम यत सर्वाणि भूतानि प्रतिभान्ति स्थितानि च यत्रैवोपशमं यान्ति शमं यान्ति तस्मै सत्यात्मने नमः. ज्ञाता ज्ञानं तथा ज्ञेयं द्रष्टा दर्शनदृश्यभूः कर्ता हेतुः क्रिया यस्मात् तस्मै ज्ञप्त्यात्मने नमः. स्फुरन्ति शेखरा यस्मात् आनन्दस्याम्बरे वनौ सर्वेषां जीवनं तस्मै ब्रह्मानन्दात्मने नमः. दिवि भूमौ तथाकाशे बहिरन्तश्च मे विभुः यो विभात्यवभासात्मा तस्मै सर्वात्मने नमः. सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तमेकमचरं नित्यं विभुं शाश्वतं प्रत्यग्ब्रह्मरसायनं सुखगनं पूर्णं परं पावनं स्वात्मज्योतिरनादिमध्यनिधनं मायाविलासैर्मुहुः विश्वाकारमपास्तमायमभयं वन्दे विशुद्धं पदं. ज्ञानादेवात्मनो मोक्षः न तु कर्मसमाधिभिः अज्ञातोऽसौ ससदृश्यं सृजत्येवेति कीर्त्यते. तस्मै श्रीगुरवे वसिष्ठमुनये नित्यं नमस्कुर्महे. विश्वामित्रमुनिं शरण्यमनघं भूयो नमस्याम्यहं. तस्मै वाल्मीकये श्री गुरुतमगुरवे भूरिभावैर्नताः स्मः. पूर्णानन्दस्वभावः स्वजनहितकृते माययोपात्तकायः कारुण्यादुद्दिदीर्षोर्जनमनवरतं मोहपङ्के निमग्नम् आविश्यान्तर्वसिष्ठं बहिरविकलयन् शिष्यभावं वितेने यः संवादेन शास्त्रामृतजलधिममुं रामचंद्रं प्रपद्ये. ओम श्री रामचंद्र परब्रह्मणे नमः. वशिष्ठादिऋषिभ्यो नमः. श्री योग वासिष्ठ महारामायण शास्त्रम तृतीय उत्पत्ति प्रकरणम लीलोपाख्याने संसार मरण विवरणं वर्णनं नाम पंचपंचाशत्तम सर्गः. श्री प्रबुद्ध लीला वाच. This 55th sarga start with the question by the Leela. Yesterday we saw that question. What is that? Yathaiva janturmriyate jayate cha yatha punaha tanme kathaya deveshi punarbodha vivruddhaye. Hey Deveshi, Punah Kathaya. You already told. I have got some of it. More I want to understand deeply, exhaustively. When you tell, it becomes more easier to me. Therefore, Bodha Vivruddhaye Punah Kathaya. So it is the Jignasa in Leela to know in us also. Out of some compulsion or some type of sentiments or emotion or a habit coming out of, because there is no other thing to do coming. These are all the initial ways of coming to the class. And the higher way is what? With jignasa. Jnatum ichha. मुझे जानना है इस दृष्टि से. That is a little higher one. Then your attentiveness is different level. You are asking the question. All of them will be different level. The grasping also will be of the higher standard. So she has the jignasa. You tell me. Okay, bodha vivruddhaye, so that my knowledge grows, understanding grows, and the consequence of all spiritual understandings is only two. One, detachment from the world, which is binding, attaching to the reality, which is liberating. That's the meaning of bodha vivruddhi. Bodha means intellectual apprehension, understanding. Vivruddhi is growing. Consequence is binding world rejected, liberating self adopted. What are the things you want to know? Very interesting. Yathaiva jantur mriyate jayate cha yatha punah. How the beings die and how they are born again. You tell this. मृत्यु के बारे में, जन्म के बारे में. Somewhat is similar to the question is Nachiketa asks. Ya yam prete vichikitsa. Astitye ke na ayam astiti chaike. There is a vichikitsa for the people who are on the earth. That after death, some people say there is nothing remains. Some people say remains. Etad vidyam anushishtah tvayaham parastame varaniyasya eva. This vidya I want to know from you. That's my third moon. Why that way question Nachiketa asked? After death something is there or not to Yamaraj. Though he is asking about Brahma Vidya. That way of asking is because he is only one Yamaraj who knows. After death what happens to the people, because he is the one who is taking everyone. केवल उनको पक्का पता है, इसलिए उनको पूछा. So to Mother Saraswati, Trikalagnya is, she is beyond Kala, Desha. So beyond all Upadhis too. Therefore, such great divine beings, as a picture very clear in front of us, they know it. So much so that somebody died in a hospital. Others are crying, but they see this Jiva left. He is there. He is trying to enter the body. He is not able to enter. It is over. He wants to talk to them, shake hand with them, and ask them and tell them कि मेरे property इधर है. He cannot do anything. He is there watching. They know it. Then 12, 13 days he will be wandering there. Then in different place he goes. Million, karodo jivas are there in this sukshma sthiti. These yogis, Mahajnanis, if they want, they can know about anyone. Otherwise, they don't know. वो चल रहा है हर एक जीव का अपना. If you particularly ask, then they tell, okay, your father died, okay, he is born there. Now he is 6 years old or 10 years old or 9 months old. They know it. We cannot know. Like Krishna says, Bahuni me vetidani janmani tavacha Arjuna, tani aham veda sarvani. Many lives happen to yours and mine. I know all of them. Nattam with you don't know. Why? You are identified with this body and this life. If you detach from it, like Janma Katanta Sambodha, we see in a Yoga Darshanam, with that Siddhi, you can even know about you and about others of the past lives. After death, what happens? Is up. So Saraswati Mata knows, therefore, Yatha eva jantu mriyate jayate cha yatha punaha. How the death happens and how the birth happens. You tell. What happens after the death? What is the meaning of death? What is the meaning of death? How death happens? What is the meaning of rebirth? How it happens? Tanme kataya deveshi. Tell me that. Puna bodha vivruddhaye. So that my understanding becomes wider. And all liberation is only in knowledge because all bondage is only in ignorance. Catch this point. Prashna is clear. And about us only. Now we are alive. One day I will die. So what is the meaning of I die? I will know through this now. Then somewhere I will be born. Before birth, sab nautanki hoega. All that about me in advance when I know. Whatever I can do some repairs here, I can do that. है ना? लाइक बताते हैं कि रोड थोड़ा खराब है उधर, आप दूर जा रहे हो, तो देन यू टेक मोर एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट टू पुट द स्टेपनी प्रॉपर. अगर ये इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं होता तो आप केयरलेसली यू गो देयर, टायर पंक्चर, देन नो बडी टू रिपेयर. और वहाँ बहुत ठंडा होता है, देन यू टेक एक्स्ट्रा वोलेंस, इजंट इट इज टोल्ड नो. और वहाँ आपके खाद्य पदार्थ नहीं मिलते तो यहाँ ले जाते हो खाना. इन द सेम वे वी कैन डू वेल हियर टू बी बेटर सेफ हियर आफ्टर. Okay, here, hereafter, and forever. Huh. Sri Devi Uvacha, mother's answer. Let us try to see how much we can understand. One. Nadi pravahe vidhure yada vatavisam sthitim jantuhu prapnoti hitada shamyativa asya chetana. This is what. So yada, when vatavisam sthitim, the vayu going inside, coming outside, is its samsthiti, samyak sthiti, when the being is alive. When the vata visamsthiti happens, that going, coming air has slowly reduced and stopped. Nadi pravahe vidure. Then the nadis also, the sukshma nadi pravaha, which makes all the antakarana and indriyas function, that also become vidura, quietened. So the Vayuhuka Avajahi stopped, the Nadi Pravaha also stopped. At the gross level, the Nadi Pravaha is a blood circulation. Through the blood circulation, all parts are intact. Once the Vayu going and coming stops, blood circulation stops. So that's the meaning of Nadi Pravaha stopped. Movement of the Nadi is stopped. Okay. When this happens, you know, then what happens at that time? Jantuhu prapnoti tada. When that happens to that being, tada shamyati iva asya chetana. At that time, his chetana gets quieted. Means, what is the meaning of chetana gets quieted? The pure consciousness activating all of them, because of which all those faculties were functioning. Therefore, he was called as alive. That chetana becomes shamyati. That is the meaning of the death actually. In a particular condition, the Chetana Atma makes all of them function. In a particular condition is over, Chetana Atma doesn't function through it, therefore they don't function. That is called as death. All that happens because of the karma phala. That is basic reason. And that expresses through the Sharira Prapti, Indriya Prapti, and in that Sharira, all the limbs are the parts, and in that all the Prana Shakti traveling, blood traveling. These are all the phenomena made by that Ishwariya Maya for that jiva as his karma phala which he has to go through. Like to be comfortable in your house, that's the main goal. You make good lighting arrangements, the fans, the ACs, the sofa. ये सब आपके comfort के लिए. That's it. So to be the jiva for my karma phala bhoga, all these vivitha deha are given, and in the deha variety of functions are given. Thus उसका उतना ही काम है. When my karma phala is over through this sharira, I have to go out of it. इसलिए बंद हो जाता. That's all the death is. उसको उतना सेंटिमेंटली इमोशनली लेने की जरूरत ही नहीं है ना. चेतना शाम्य तीवा. And that individuality who was expressing through this upadhi, he ejects out of this sharira, then he goes in search of another sharira. Point 1. सेकंड श्लोक में बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट क्या है वो. शुद्धम ही चेतनम नित्यम. सो द चेतनम इज प्योर कॉन्शियसनेस. That consciousness expressing through the faculties becomes Chetana. That Chetana gives life to all faculties, and through that life, the individual lives. He lives the life. That is Chetana. That Chetana is like at the filament, the electricity expresses as the light. So that light is Chetana. Electricity is Chetana. So Chetanam he Shuddham. One point. Second is Shuddham is it is not touched by all these faculties. Second part is Nityam. That Chetana always is there. Third is Na Udeti Na Cha Shamyati. There is no birth and death of the Chetana. Chetanam, pure consciousness. It always is there. Next one, that pure Chetanam, Paramatma Tattva, Sthavare, in one place staying, trees, etc. Jangame, in mobile animals, birds, human beings, etc. Vyomne, in the Akasha. Shaile, even in the mountain. Agnau, in the Agni. Pavane, in the Vayu, Sthitam. The pure conscious self is there in all of them. Stavara Jangama, Vyomi Shaila, Suvyoma Shaila, Agni Pavana. In everything, that pure conscious self is there. That conscious self through the upadhi expresses as life. That depends on that jiva's karma, karma phala or Ishwariya Maya Shakti. Once that is over, all pervading consciousness stops expressing through that. That's it. That equipment is no more. Worthy or qualified or fit to express that Paramatma Tattva as Chetana in them. Behind that is the karma. कि इस समय तक इन इक्विपमेंट्स में उस चेतना परमात्मा को चेतना के रूप में एक्सप्रेस करने का कैपेसिटी. somewhat like the objects expiry date. तब तक दे आर वैलिड वर्किंग. एग्जैक्टली वो मूवमेंट आते हैं वो स्लोली और डिमिनिश होकर उसका एफिकेसी चले आते. इवन द पॉइजन है ना, इट हैज टू बी कंज्यूम्ड बिफोर एक्सपायरी डेट. अदरवाइज आफ्टर एक्सपायरी डेट विल टेक इट, ये तो फिर वो किक देगा और कुछ नहीं देगा वो. Isn't it? So, Shuddham is Chetanam, Nityam, na Udeti, na cha Shamyati. The pure consciousness is neither born nor dying. It is eternal, it is pure, immaculate, untouched by anything. Stavare, Jangame, Vyomni, Shaile, Agno, Pavane, Sthitam. It is there in everything. At a higher level, mein, all these Pavana, Agni, Stavara, Jangama are projected on that Chaitanya Paramatma because of that Chaitanya Paramatma's Maya Shakti only. ये हायर नॉलेज है which already seen so many times. अब ना वो डिटेल हर बार बोलने की जरूरत नहीं. यहाँ प्रश्न का उत्तर, हाउ somebody dies, how he is born, उसी प्रश्न का जवाब देना है. So the Chetana Atma never dies. Then the expression of the Chetana Atma through these upadhis gets stops. That's called Shamyati. And at that time, the Vayu going, coming stops. So too the Nadi Spandana also stops. Why it happened means karma phala, कि उनको यहाँ तक जीना है, खत्म बात. Up to this understood. So I am there as an individual. In my ignorance with Upadhi Tadatmya, I have done a lot of karma in the past. Cumulatively, that gave me this Sharira in this life. And in that karma only, how long this Sharira will live, when it will have to die, that will be there. Exactly that time comes on, these all things happen. The Vayu ka avajahi stops, all the Nadi Spandana stops. Then I become a Chetana. I mean, this Sharira becomes a Chetana. Other than Sharira, the two more are there, the Jiva and Paramatma. Paramatma is everywhere there. As it is said here, Stavare Jangame Vyomni Shaile Agno Pavane Sthito. Even in the dead body, he is there. What? Monitoring the decomposition of the body. Monitoring means as a Sakshi. In his presence, the Kala does that work of decomposition. And when that living being was there in it, Jiva, that body was there for 80, 90 years. Nothing happened. But once that left, within 7, 8, 9 hours, that gets decomposed. Of any, not only human being, a पेड़ का भी. वो हरा भरा पेड़ 70-80 साल से है, उसके अंदर भी कोई कारण से प्राण निकल गए हो, you can see in 3 days all leaves get dried up, all the branches get dried up. Any animal, a tortoise lives for 100 years, a whale lives for 600 years, an elephant lives for whatever the time. सब में ऐसे होता है. Not only human being. Whenever such fear comes na, while analyzing of human, generalize it कि ये सारे जीवों में होता है. Then our fear दुख gets reduced. And also do one more thing, ऐसा हमको बहुत बार हुआ पहले. Till I realized Brahman, I am going to have births like this hundreds of times. When you expand it beyond this, the misery gets reduced. Just like a youngster, वो fail हो गया हो. Before starting to cry, he looks about the result of his friend. हाँ वो भी फेल हो गया तो इस दुख विल बी लेस. Isn't it? अगर वो पास हो गया तो इसका डबल दुख हो जाता है कि मैं फेल हो गया, पास हो गया, डबल दुख. सो बिफोर क्राइंग दे ऑलवेज एंश्योर, है तेरा क्या हुआ, मैं भी फेल हो गया, तो थी तसल्ली होती. In the same way, not only this life of mine, so many times it happened earlier, future also it will happen to every being. That's what it happens. When you do this way the thinking, the particular me dying, that fear, that dukkha goes, which only you and I who are coming to these classes can understand. Those who don't come, they don't have this expanded vision or knowledge. They hold on to this body, and the fear of old age, death creeps in. The inexplicable misery they go through. You and I can reduce that misery and fear, focus on sadhana. Because we have the info. That's the meaning of punar bodha vivruddhaye. Bodha vivruddhi ka artha ye. So far, what are the things seen? One is the karma phala prabhava. Second, the vayu inhaling, exhaling, stopping. Vata samsthiti goes away. Vata visamsthiti happens. The nadi pravaha vidurata happens. Then chetana shamyati. The moment you switch off, the electricity stops, then big that machine which was working and making so much sound quietens or not. बड़ा मशीन का फैक्ट्री में ना 100 मशीन काम कर रहे, और इवनिंग होते बंद करते, स्विच ऑफ, सारे करके रुक जाते. ये शरीर में द चेतना शाम्यत, द लिविंग इन दिस बॉडी stops, means life expression stops. The Chaitanya Paramatma expressing as life stops. Chaitanya Paramatma is beyond that. He is Chit Sarupa, Sat Sarupa. That Chit Sat Sarupa expresses in some of the equipments as life. That way, life is also not ultimate. It is an expression, but through that, life is a very high level of expression. From this life, we can touch the consciousness. Consciousness expressing through fit equipments expresses Chaitana. You understand that? That stops there. This Shuddham hi Chetanam Nityam na Udeti na cha Shamyati. Okay. This pure self is pure, and it is eternal, and it is never born or dying. It is all pervading. Therefore, this self doesn't get quietened when the body gets quieted. Now the next sloka is very cute. Kevalam vata samrodhat यदा स्पन्दः प्रशाम्यति मृत इति उच्यते देहः तदा असौ जडनामकः. Very clear? Hmm? केवलं वात samrodhat. When the vayu going inside and coming out stops, yada spandaha prashamyate, because of that, the nadi spandana, therefore, all the sharira indriya, the chesta activities, when they get quietened, that phenomena is called mruta iti uchyate dehaha. And that called mruti only to the deha. Tada asau jada namakaha. Right? At that time, the deha is no more functioning, therefore, it is called jada. Kevalam vata samrodhat. When the inhale and exhaling stopped, yada spandaha prashamyati. When the nadi spandana stops, that time the deha spandana also stops, deha activity. Mruta ityuchate deha. That time it's called as dead body. The jiva is dead and gone. Dead and gone means body dead, jiva gone. Mar gaya. Sharir mar, jiva gaya. Mrta iti uchyate deha tada asau jada namakaha. At that time, this is called as jada. After this, we know it now. Now the next one is what? Tasmin dehe shavi bhute vate cha anilatam gate chetanam vasana muktam swatma tatveva tishtati. Very crucial thought, this one. This one, next to 2-3 slokas, are the subtle ones. Try to understand. Tasmin dehe shavi bhute. When that deha is no more now active, functional, it has become shava. In that sharira, what was making every activity happen? The vayu, no? What happened to that prana shakti, the vayu in him? Vate cha anilatam gate. The individual vayu merges in the total vayu. Then what happens? Chetanam, vasana muktam. Very careful. Here vasana mukta means those vasanas which were exhausted in expressing this sharira, the upadhi, and for that jiva, the functioning through is the upadhi. That is over, no? Therefore, that chetanam for the time being goes back into the Paramatma Vastu. So, chetanam vasana muktam swatma tattve avatishtati. He goes and merges in the pure self. So, atma tattve avatishtati. Expression from this sharira stops. Chetanam vasana muktam, so atma tattve avatishtati. So, does it mean that the Chetanam, the Jiva, merged in the Paramatma, therefore he has got the Mukti because Paramatma is Brahma Tattva, he merged in it? Then how do you call him as Jiva and how he can be born again? Answer is Jiva iti uchyate tasya nama anur vasana vataha tatra eva aste sacha shavagare gaganake tatha. So, merging means not totally merging. He is having the residue of still the vasanas. Jiva iti uchyate tasya nama anoho vasana avataha. Totally, if the vasanas are gone, permanently the jiva bhava goes away. That chetana which was expressing through that jiva bhava merges in the Paramatma. Like the walls are there, four. The outer total space is conditioned by the wall. We call as the room space. Room space is never away from the total space any day. But because of the walls, it is considered. In the same way, the vasanas which project the jiva bhava in us, through that is called as a wall. Through that, the same Paramatma is called a jiva. Now, through the Adhyatmic sadhana, the wall rupi jiva bhava is dissolved. Only when the ignorance and vasanas go away. अज्ञान और वासनाओं के क्षय से ये दीवार रूपी जीव भाव जब ढह जाता है, फिर वो जीव भाव के कारण जो परमात्मा तत्व ही चेतना के रूप में एक्सप्रेस कर रहा था, दैट बिकम्स नॉट बिकम्स एक्चुअली डिस्कवर्स इट्स अ oneness with the total space. Like the hall space discovers its oneness with the total space when the walls are dismantled. Did the walls create the inner space? No. Has it ever separated from the total space? No. Then it created a notion that there is a big space outer, small space inside. Inside, outer space is cause, inner space is effect. This is smaller, that's bigger. This is all because of our conditional drishti. So too, Chaitanya Paramatma through Jiva Bhava, because of vasanas, expresses this living individual Jiva. Living individual Jiva is equal to the room space. This Jiva is never away from Brahman. He is always Brahman, but seen through the conditionings. That's why Paramatma through conditions is Jiva, Jivatma minus conditions is Paramatma Tattva. So that ignorance still there, that vasanas still are there. Therefore, the individuality is there, but it is anurupa. That is now for the time being is in the Paramatma Tattva. Always it is the Paramatma Tattva only, but where it goes after death, if you ask, this is what. Okay, Jiva iti uchyate, है ना? See, this is continuation. Tasmin dehe shavibhute, this is understood. Vate cha anilatangate, it is understood. Chetanam vasana muktam swatma tattve avadhishtati. Jiva iti uchyate, tasya nama anoho vasanavataha. Tatra eva aste sacha shavagare gaganake tatha. Now, very crucial discussion now. Here, Shavagare Gaganake is about the Raja Padma. When Raja Padma died in that Antapura, his body is kept still now, there only in the Antapura. Then, where is that Jiva is merged in Chaitanya? It is not as so many Brahmandas crossed and seen that he is in some other Brahmanda as a Raja Viduratha. These all have been experienced by Raja Viduratha and traveled by even Saraswati Mata as well as Leela only in the imagination, only in the projection. So, two things there are. One, that hall is there where the Shiva is kept. Two, in that place there is a space. Three, in the space only all these are projected. Fourth point is very crucial. In the space it is projected means what? Not in the space per se, it is in the pure Chetana Tattva, which is all pervading. In that only, these are all projected. And that Chetana Paramatma is such sublime one. He can hold on in him millions of Brahmandas at one go of different levels. यही उनकी माया है. Like when you go in flight na, and you see the clouds. In the space, the clouds, small cloud, big cloud, thick cloud, thin cloud, dense cloud, light cloud, bada wala, chota wala. Don't you see how many? In the space only they are there. So too in the Chidakasha, somehow this Anoka Maya Shakti Pratibha, Ananta Koti Brahmandas, they stay because they're all imaginary. Overlapped as if projected, like even now in this room, कौन जीव घूम रहे हमको नहीं पता. I don't know. Just like even at the grass level, I don't see in which wall, which chipkali is there, which khatmal machar are there, which makadi is there. They're all there. Grass also, I don't know all of them. And in every your own room, there may be 1,000, 10,000 bacteria, insects will be there everywhere. क्या हमें सब पता होता है क्या? नहीं ना. But they're all here only. In my own hands and legs, they're all there. हाथ में कितने होंगे माइक्रोस्कोप लगा के देखो. स्थूला we are telling. In the same way, in the Brahman, so many these things can be simultaneously can happen. So here the in that Chidakasha, in that Chittakasha, in that Bhutakasha, that happened. Raja Padma died. Now Raja Padma died. Now nothing, no connection to him with the Bhutakasha, no? Because he died. Then he in his Chittakasha, as he planned, he experienced the entire Raja Vidurata Jivana. But none of the Chitta Akashas, how much ever big or distant they are, or separated by time, none of them can be bereft of pure consciousness. In consciousness, time and space, all of them, like even in the mind. In the mind, let us say, I ask you what is the time. Now you say so and so itnawa. Now I tell you, imagine when you were 40 years old, what you did. Within now, let's say your age is 70, 30 years back, in your mind, in a second, you will travel or not. Time wise, I am telling. Space wise also. You are here physically. Again, I tell you, last year you went to America. You just tell me which are the places you visited. Immediately, don't you collect those places which you have seen? Recollect and tell me. So, in the mind, at this very moment, Ananta Kala, as much as it can remember, Ananta Desha, as much as it can remember, it is there or not. Thoda subtle ban jao. So, to in the consciousness, microsecond and infinite time, they have same value. So to a micromillimeter and a space Ananta Koti Brahmanda occupying, both are same only. That is the beauty of that Chaitanya Atma, Satchidatma, Paramatma. वो कुछ अलग ही ताज्जुब के, like on a TV screen. In 3 hours time, you will see that boy was born in the hospital. He became child and youngster and he is middle aged हो गया. 2 घंटे में आपको टीवी स्क्रीन में सब दिख रहा है. कुछ हुआ क्या? नहीं हुआ, फिर भी आपको दिख रहा है. But the TV screen, which is it is supporting all of them. In the TV screen, a child born, becoming old, 3 generations भी कभी कभी बताते हैं उसी का. He grew, he became his children, grandchildren, सब दिखा रहे. And nowadays, तो through graphics, they can show you India 100 years back and India 100 days after and India now. With graphics, with artificial intelligence, if it can be seen by the Ishvara's Maya Shakti, what is not possible to appear in the consciousness. Okay, that is the meaning of it. So, tatra eva aste sacha shavagare gaganake tatha. So, in that shavagara, in the chittakasha, all that is there. But chittakasha is never bereft of consciousness. Consciousness is all pervading. In that consciousness, chittakasha is projected. How much or big or small it may be. In that bhutakasha is projected. How much big or small it may be. वो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. These are all thoda mind blowing things. So tatosau preta shabdena prochate vyavaharibihi. By the people who are alive, they say ये प्रेत हो गया, मतलब मर के चला गया. चेतनम वासना मिश्रम आमोद अनिलवत स्थितम. है ना? Then his Chaitana, the Jiva Bhava, with his further vasanas, he is there in the beyond the Sharira state. Chetanam Vasana Mishram Amoda Anilava Stitam. Amoda is fragrance. Anila is the Vayu. Vayu with the smell. As it is there, the Vayu place may put the Jiva. The smell is his vasanas. He is beyond Sharira. Then the next portion will tell us, once he left the body, that individuality, depending on his various karma, 3 plus 3, 6 possibilities are there, where he travels. And all that travel, please remember, again was only the karma phala. And all that karma and phala All are in the Chitta Kalpana only. While all this Natanki happening, one, nothing is really happening to the Brahman. None of these are touching. That Brahman we have to realize. If Brahman is not realized in this projected, Chitta projected worlds, with the Chitta projected Upadhis, with the Chitta projected Vishayas seen, in Chitta projected karma we do, and the Chitta projected karma phala we get in all the lokas. It's something like you feel hungry, then you are going to dining table. When you feel tired, you go to sleep. Then you just want to entertain, you come and sit in the drawing hall in front of TV. Where are all of them? Outside for you to see. But before outside, where were they? In your chitta only, no? पहले आपके चित्त में थे, इसलिए आपने सब बना के रखा. बना के रखने के बाद then you gave it reality. Now you are involving it. First the thought comes, let me go and watch TV. Then you go there. Then how come the TV came and all that? That is the thought. Either it's yours or somebody's, whoever projected the TV. And in that TV, which program should come? वो किसने प्रोजेक्ट किया पता नहीं, बट किसी ना किसी का प्रोजेक्शन ही तो है ना. So it's a cumulative thing, samashti projection. One person's projection is he produced the TV. Another person's projection is he has projected the cinema movie. And your projection is you are sitting there to watch it. So you are watching the TV which is existing there, in which the program coming. Cumulatively it is projection. Think. Grossified. Then given reality. Then the real reality forgot. And we are deluded this alone. Like everywhere it happens, like this, my friend. You are lost only, as this only a friend. If you try it, 100 good friends will be there better than stupid. Isn't it? So too in our cooking. Routinely you make something food. But research karo, the taste can be improved, quality can be improved, medicinal effect can be improved in that. But our minds are deluded there. रसम मतलब ऐसी बनानी, दाल तड़का ऐसी बनानी. Isn't it? No, it can be thought over and there are other options, improvement. That's how the newer and newer dishes are coming. These newer dishes are always there, but nobody invented them because they're fixed in whatever they do. So to transports. Only चलना है. Why चलना है? तुम बैलगाड़ी में जा सकते हो. Why बैलगाड़ी? You can even make other time. When you think, things are becoming possible. Why don't you make it possible? Because we are fixed in our thought. I am giving all these examples, sir, that we are fixed in our thought that all this is real. Therefore, we are not searching what is reality. Okay. Now, there are, in the next portion, will be told six types of beings are there. Papi, Mahapapi, Madhyapapi. So to Mahapunyatma, Madhyama Punyatma, Punyatma. Then when this phenomena of leaving the body happened, then whatever he was among these six, accordingly what result he gets, that will be explained. Before that, idam drishyam parityajya yadaste darshanantare swapna eva sankalpa eva nanakrutistада tasmineva pradeshe anta purvat smrtiman bhavet tadaiva murti murchante pashyati anya shariragam. These I touched little, tomorrow little more. Remember, I am Chaitanya Swarupa. In me, Chaitanya Swarupa only, the Chitta Akasha. In me, the Chitta Akasha only, the Bhuta Akasha. Therefore, where are all Bhuta Akashas? Where are all Chitta Akashas? All of them in Chidakasha. So, therefore, in Chidakasha only everything is appearing, happening, which is appearance. But वो लगता है उसमें time, space. Like in Swapna, you feel like you have traveled in time. 4 hours, you traveled in place. In 4 घंटे में वो 200 किलोमीटर पार किए. Did you go anywhere physically? Is it not all in the mind? Mind means Chittakash. So the Sthula Jagat, Sthula space and Sthula Kala, which you have experienced in the dream as if real, they are nowhere but in your own Chitta. Because when you get up and see, you are not gone anywhere. You are there only. isn't it? And you slept only for 1 hour. In 1 hour, you go to America and come back. In 1 hour, you cannot go and come. No, 1 घंटे में कहाँ जाके आ सकते? एक बार 5 मिनट की नींद में भी आपको स्वप्न आ जाता, 5 मिनट में पहुंच कर आ गए क्या? फिर नहीं हुआ. बट वेयर वॉज द टाइम एंड स्पेस एंड यू एक्सपीरियंस एक्चुअली योर ट्रैवल देयर, है ना? इन दैट एग्जीक्यूटिव क्लास, इन दैट इंटरनेशनल फ्लाइट, यू आर देयर, सो ह्यूज इट फैसिलिटीज एंड ऑल वंडरफुल. सारे पहुंच गए वहां अमेरिका में, सब मिले आपको, वेलकम किए, बुके वगैरह पकड़ाए. देन यू वेंट टू ऑल सिटीज देयर, न्यूयॉर्क, न्यू जर्सी, देन न्यू साउथ वेल्स, ह्यूस्टन, ऑस्टिन, ह्यूस्टन, पता नहीं क्या क्या होते, इन्हें क्या पता. आई हैव नेवर गॉन. ऑल यू कम 5 मिनट में पूरा, है ना? अराउंड द वर्ल्ड इन $8, अराउंड द वर्ल्ड इन 5 minutes. Did we go through all that really? Now, this is the thing which Bhagavan is going to tell us, Mother Saraswati. Difference between Swapna and death is only this much. They are same. Swapna is like death only, where this body identity you drop, no? Then in your Swapna, according to your Vasanas, the Chitta Akash mein, Aneka Aneka Loka Praloka, they are all projected. You get different Shariras, go no? Same thing happens you after death. Only difference death in Swapna, you come back into this body, क्योंकि अभी भी प्रारब्ध है, आपका नहीं, दूसरों का, because of you. And ours also. Once that is over, we go. Remember, the waking is the long dream. And the death is permanent dream. Means you are left this body. Permanent dream means the temporary dream may you come back to this body again. In the death, you go out of it. That's it. Otherwise, everything is happening in chitta only. इतना घबराने की नहीं है. वो घबराहट इसलिए होती है कि देह तादात्म्य. That is because no viveka, no vairagya. No viveka, no vairagya is equal to full of raga and dvesha and kama, krodha. इन सब के कारण, देह तादात्म्य के कारण ये सारे वहम होते हैं. So these beautiful thoughts, let us try to understand tomorrow also some more by God's grace. Thank you. ओम पूर्णमदः श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. आज इतना काफी. धन्यवाद. Thank you for your patience.